I'll be honest and say that I don't know if a UFO actually crash landed here back in wherever that was, at Roswell, but you gotta admit, they certainly have taken the theme and run with it. That is not my motorcycle, just to be clear. There's my motorcycle. I stopped here in this fantastic landscape in New Mexico, west of Roswell, for lunch. When I stopped, I hadn't seen any cars on this road for 15 minutes, and since I've stopped, there's been nothing but traffic going by. So clearly, I was just weird about missing the traffic thing. Anyway, I made a sandwich and I had some chips. I went grocery shopping this morning in Roswell. No Teddy Grahams. This is a disaster. I had been there before and found this really cool taco place, but I couldn't find it this time. So tacos for me there, I guess, but I'm sure I can find tacos somewhere in the Southwest, right? I did make a resolve to shoot more video, so I had more stuff. This way towards San Antonio, New Mexico, not related with San Antonio, Texas. There I get to decide I want to go up to Albuquerque and the Petroglyph National Monument, or continue on a direct line towards the Petrified Forest. I was going to be going right to the Petrified Forest, but since I had so much time and the petroglyphs are kind of right there, I'm sort of torn. But I don't need to decide until I get to San Antonio, or even actually north of that, Socorro, whatever. Because that's when I decide if I'm going to turn or continue north. And that is probably still 100 miles away, so plenty of time to think about it. So I stopped here at the Smokey Bear Historical Park. Smokey the Bear National Historical Park Place! Yay! Yeah, it's in Capitan. I guess it's Capitan, New Mexico. Maybe halfway between Roswell and San Antonio on I-25, which is where I'm more or less headed for right now. It's a tiny little town, small park just next to the National Forest where Smokey the Bear was found in a big forest fire. He was caught up in a tree, just a little cub. They rescued him, fixed him up, and he became like a national icon, preventing forest fires. And he was an actual honest-to-God bear, not just a cartoon, who lived in Washington, D.C. in the National Zoo. And when he died, they brought him back here, and he's buried. I've been here before. On my way to the Overland Expo in 2011, I stopped, and then, of course, took some pictures with Blue around the bear stuff, with all the bear stuff inside, but they charge an entry fee to get in, and it's for literally a city block worth of park. So I decided to be a cheapskate and not pay the entry fee this time, but I am hanging out here at the park for a minute anyway. It's nice out. Evening. I stopped kind of early today, some sand dune place, but it's a nice place to stop. Albuquerque is right up the road, and I could easily get through Albuquerque, but I want to see the Petroglyphs National Monument, which is inside of Albuquerque. So my choice would be go through and then come back, or stop before. And I looked at a couple campgrounds on the way here, but there's a railroad track that runs along the freeway, and it seemed like all the campgrounds were right next to the railroad. And I'm assuming that the railroad track is active, they'll be woken up all night for trains. So this is a sand dune wildlife area. It's kind of close to the freeway, which I'm sure you can hear, but still, car traffic is better than train traffic, I think. Hopefully. I guess we'll find out later. Just after I left Capitan, I ran into a KLR rider who was broken down, and he had a flat tire. He'd been stuck there since the day before. He'd slept overnight. This little wayside thing. I offered him my spare front tube because he needed a 17-inch. That's an 18, but he said he had a friend on the way with a spare tube, and he thinks he may have finally patched the one that had it flat. He kept patching it, inflating it. It'd work for 10-15 miles and then go flat again. So he's from Houston. It's kind of a long way from home. Rear tire looked like terrible also. Like, I'm not sure that's going to make it back to Houston either, but maybe he has a plan for that. Or not. KLR riders are weird. So I hung out with him for about half hour, 40 minutes. Made sure he had food and water. He actually had more water than I have. Have. Both of those are true. Both that I had at the time and that I have now. Like 3 gallons of water. And people from the nearby, from Capitan, were stopping by to make sure he was okay. Motorcyclists, however, were apparently not stopping. I was only the second one apparently to stop by and make sure he was okay. While I was there, about 5 motorcyclists went past and they didn't even wave. Really kind of sad. Anyway, it's only a little after 5 local time, so a good half hour, hour earlier than I usually stop. So I'm going to spend some time journaling and working on my blog and maybe watch some movie on my phone after I edit my videos, although I won't be able to upload them from here because there's basically no cell signal. But like I said, I'm going to Albuquerque tomorrow. It's a town. It's got to have cell service, right? I guess we'll find out tomorrow. Anyway, I hope this video turned out to be longer and more interesting than previous videos, since I have other stuff to include. And, yeah. Oh, big finger. Watch out for squirrels.